guys, it's Deidre from our Upcycled Life and welcome to my channel. If you like thrifting, DIYs, and repurposing, you've come to the right place and we'd love to have you follow along. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any great content. Today's a fun video. When I'm out thrifting, I love finding the little vintage jewelry boxes, or the big ones are fantastic if I can find them, but the littler ones are easier to find. I always pick them up because they can be upcycled into beautiful little jewelry boxes that make great gifts, or something that you can do with any theme that you want for your home. So today I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial of how I made this cute little Disney one, and hopefully it will inspire you to make one of your own and look for one when you're out thrifting. Okay, let's get started. This is a little jewelry box that I picked up at our local thrift store. They're quite easy to find. I see them all the time, these little small ones lined in the little velvet material in the middle, and I picked this one up for $3.99. I always like to take the material out of these. They always seem to be dusty and dirty and sometimes stained. And I like to paint the whole interior. So this just takes a little bit of patience. Just use a little screwdriver or a little scissors and pull all that material out. Sometimes after pulling it out, you'll have a little bit of glue residue. I just wet it with a little bit of water and then it scrapes right off, quite easy. Now I take my sanding block, this is an 80 grit, and I make sure I give the whole jewelry box a really good sanding. It's kind of got quite a thick varnish on top, and the paint doesn't like to adhere to it very well. So I just like to make sure that I roughen up the surface quite good before I paint it. Now I like to take a damp rag and completely clean the jewelry box really well. Get all the little dust and all the little bits of paper out of it. Make sure it's nice and clean before we're ready to paint. Really good sand. I like the look of the just stressed edges on these projects, but that's a preference to you. You don't have to sand this if you don't want to. You can just leave it as is. I just prefer the look of the edges sanded and making it look a little bit more rustic and chippy. It's all sanded and ready for me to put on the graphics. I love lining the drawers with scrapbooking paper. I found this sheet of Mickey Mouse themed scrapbooking paper at Michael's, and that's what I'm going to put on the inside. So I'm going to measure it, cut it to size, and then decoupage it on the inside of the drawer liners. Okay, now we're all ready to decoupage these into the drawer liners. I like using the Mod Podge matte finish to glue these into the bottoms of the drawers. You're just going to put a thin layer of Mod Podge over the entire surface that the paper, scrapbooking paper, is going to go in, and press it in firmly. Get all the air bubbles, all the little wrinkles out. Make sure it's down really well, and then let it dry. To put the graphics on. I made the graphics in my graphic program, and I have quite a few videos on how I make my graphics. If you go back into my playlist, you can see a real good step-by-step tutorial of lots of projects that I've done that I'll go more in depth in how I do this. I'll put the link below in the description of the playlist for that. But I made these graphics in now I'm just going to cut them to size. You have to make sure when you make these graphics that you reverse the text, because if you don't, when you put it on your project, it will be backwards. This little graphic I'm going to put on the inside of the door. When I removed the little mirror from the inside of the lid, it had two grooves that were in the wood, cut into the wood. So I'm going to position this so it sits in between those little two pieces of wood, so it looks like it was meant to go there. Okay, now I'm going to use my Mod Podge matte finish, and I'm going to put a light coat all over the graphics, and then put them down on the wood and make sure I get out all the little air bubbles, all the little wrinkles, press it down really firmly, and then you have to let them sit for 24 hours. Okay, now we're ready to see how this is going to turn out. You're going to take a damp rag and you're going to just gently wet it until you can just start to see the letters come through. And then you're going to rub all of the paper away. And while you're rubbing the paper, you'll expose the graphics underneath and they'll stay on your project. Imagine all the possibilities that you can do with a project like this. There's so many scrapbook papers, there's so many quotes that you can use. You can just use your imagination and make so many beautiful little jewelry boxes. And this is what I'm going to use for my top coat. Varathane water-based, satin, crystal clear, non-yellowing varnish. And it works perfect and makes it really durable and easy to wipe and dust down if you need to. I'm just going to put a light coat over the whole jewelry box and the inside of the drawer liners. And there you have a beautiful handmade upcycled jewelry box. Perfect for a little girl's room, little boy's room, in a Mickey Mouse theme. Imagine all the little treasures that they can store in this little jewelry box. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and inspired you to make one of your own. Thanks for watching and have a great day.